Welcome back. As always, it's important to be in the know concerning issues that impact you and your family, especially right here in Oak Hill. Joining me now is a former member of the West Virginia House of Delegates, past president of the West Virginia Board of Education, and current member of Oak Hill City Council Ward 1, David Perry. Thank you so much for coming back. It's been a while.
Absolutely, and thank you for this opportunity.
Of course. And so a lot has happened. I have the agenda here in front of me, but before we get into the items that you all discussed tonight, what is the status on the beautiful former BB&T building?
That has been finalized.
Okay.
The architect has been employed. A committee has been formed from city employees and workers, and the financing has been completed, and the final signatures will occur this week, which will transfer the properties to the city of Oak Hill for the next city municipal building.
All right, and it absolutely looks gorgeous. All of the holiday decorations aglow.
Everyone seems to compliment it, yes.
Absolutely love it.
Different appearance.
All right, so let's get to the meeting that you recently had. You have a couple of items on here that were unanimously voted in favor of. The first one, let's talk about the charter ordinance review. What does that mean to Oak Hill residents?
Oak Hill charter and ordinances were last reviewed in 1978. They are being looked at ordinance by order, charter by charter, by a committee of 4 who are making recommendations for changes. And the first 3 were looked at this evening by the council. Okay. One of which will allow future council members to serve on their respective county executive committees. The second was that you had to be a resident of the city 31 days before you could vote in a city election, and that has been changed to 21, which is in compliance with state code. And the final was a procedure that was in the ordinance to dismiss city council members, which was out of compliance with the state code. So it was adopted. Okay. So we'll move along each council meeting with areas that have been completed, and then at the end, a total approval of all collectively with a public hearing.
Okay, and so many of which of these changes are in alignment with what the state's doing?
Yes, most of them are, yes.
Okay, perfect. The second item, consideration to move the municipal election to county, so moving the date or when it actually occurs.
I think this is very significant.
Okay.
Because up to this point, there was a separate date for the city election, with all of the workers, all the training, the accounting board and so forth being done by pencil. And if this occurs, which again was approved unanimously tonight, then it would be coordinated through the county clerk's office, and it would put it on a schedule with the national and state election. Now, what hasn't been determined yet, whether it would be done in the primary or the general election, which certainly would be a more efficient, cost-saving, and effective, and probably enable or cause more people to vote. For example, in past city elections, about 170 people had all voted. Well, if you look at a regular primary or general election, you'll have 6,000 or so vote. And what also is very significant is that the next council, which is elected in June of this year, will only serve a 3-year term rather than what would have been a 5-year term, to allow the process to get in rotation with the national elections or off-year elections.
So definitely makes sense, because if you're going to vote for the primary general elections, you can also vote for your city officials as well.
Yes.
All right,
yes.
Perfect. Okay, so we've got 30 seconds, but we definitely want to get to this last one, the economic development in Oak Hill to bring in more businesses to Oak Hill. So
very
let's talk
simply,
about that.
It is 2 incentives. Number 1, new businesses which relocate to Oak Hill would get a 50% B&O tax break for a 5-year period. Existing businesses would get the same 50% if they invested $10,000 or more in improvements within their facility.
Okay, wonderful, which obviously will encourage businesses to come here to Oak Hill stimulating the economy.
Yes, that is the intent.
Okay, perfect. Well, as always, thank you for joining us. Really do appreciate it. And I know all of our residents appreciate the updates as well.
Thank you for being allowed to share this.
All right.
Thank you.
Wonderful. And that does it for now. We're going to be back right after the break with sports. Don't go away.